Oh gosh, it's been so long since we've played this game. Refuge continues the story that started in Flux. Go to the green way to begin Flux. And then Refuge will follow directly after at the cordon. Okay. Go to the green way. Wait, didn't we... Oh wait, maybe Flux is a storyline that maybe we explored? Okay, we're already at the Greenway. So let me update you all on the story so far. We are, gosh, what do they call us? We're basically a synthetic person. We are a construct, and our personality, we're called sleepers, I think, because it's called Citizen Sleeper. So we are a sleeper. We are a manufactured person. And we are owned by a mega corporation. The idea is that people back on Earth or wherever will upload copies of their consciousness to work basically as slave labor in manufactured bodies called sleepers. Gonna dip for DLC spoilers. I love this game so much though. It's very good. But yeah, Koratora, please don't get spoiled. Go play it. But yeah, the concept is that regular people upload their consciousnesses and copy them, and those copies are basically sold or loaned or leased out to megacorps to work as slave labor in their factories and basically to do all the manual labor that they don't want to do. And the people back at home who have leased out their consciousness to do that are sleeping and making money doing it. And it's pretty terrible because we're playing that simulated consciousness. We're trapped in a fabricated body that has been made reliant on a drug, which is one of the reasons why we've been kind of forced into it. We have to toe the line, because if we escape, our body will gradually degrade until it shuts down. We said, fuck that, and decided to escape anyway. We made it onto this station here. It's like it's a loop station, and it's also outside of the control of the corporations. And we've been trying to eke out a living here, including getting stabilizer, making money. We still have to eat, find places to sleep, find safety, and that sort of thing. And we've also been making friends and exploring the other people who are involved in this story. So like we have other people who live on the station who have their own problems and lives, and we've been basically helping them out and learning more about them in the process. So is this game set in the real world in 2030? I identify with exploited sleepy cyborgs owned by the megacorps way too much. It's definitely meant to be a critique on late stage capitalism and the exploitation of the workforce and the lack of economic liberty or mobility and that sort of thing, which is why when we met the communists, I was like, oh, we're joining the communists. No questions asked. So we ended up joining up with communists, which was great. We made friends with a cook who cooked mushrooms for us. We learned about what do you call it? Generation ship that got all messed up. And I think it was like smuggling sleepers or something. We dealt with a terrible bounty hunter who was trying to bring us back to the corporations. We've been working on helping a mechanic save her business. We met with a mob boss, a gang boss, who wanted us to work for them. And we were kind of like, maybe not. And we also worked with a hacker to help disable. We had like an inbuilt tracker that the corporation was using to track us down, and we got that disabled. This story, the reason we're on the Greenway, it's cut off from the rest of the station's system, and we were very curious why. And we've been kind of like exploring it, and it turns out that in this part of the system, in this hub, there was like a network that was connected to like the plants were connected into the computers. And there's an AI in the computer, I think called like the gardener or something like that, who is basically working with the plants and connecting all these different consciousnesses to this network. And we decided that how we ended our story is we decided to let go of our body and join with that network, and that was the ending we got. We were finally free of the constraints of our body, of the loneliness of being trapped inside it, of the constant toil of having to upkeep it and work and sleep and all that. We were just free to float as a simulated mind in a space we were meant to be in. It was pretty great. I feel like that's one of the best endings in the game. But it also does mean leaving behind every corporeal pleasure and all of our friends who we met who have corporeal bodies and no way to interface with this network. So it was bittersweet, but I think it was a good ending. So that's what I remember from back in May. Let's pick up in the middle of things in Meteor Res. As you step out into the passageway, someone barrels into you from behind, sending you stumbling down the corridor. Ooh, you're new. This is new stuff. You turn to see an unfamiliar spacer, laden with heavy gear. She steadies herself, staring you down as if daring you to respond. Sorry. She adjusts the strap on her shoulder, holding up a hand in recognition before setting off down the corridor. I am sorry for her. A second spacer smiles at you apologetically. She's on a mission, and when she's on a mission, they shrug. Not a problem. They smile. You're sweet. Peek! Esh stands further down the corridor, glowering at her friend. She chops at the air, pointing down the corridor to whatever end she is rushing to. Peek raises their eyebrows at you. Ish, please. Do you want everyone on this station to hate us? Esh hardens. They want to hate us. They can hate us. She drops her hip. Not exactly seeing much love as it is. We're lucky we got through before they set up that damn cordon. Cordon? Peek gestures in your direction. See, they don't even know what you're talking about. This station isn't Hawthorne. Not everyone has to follow some corporate protocol. Esh sighs. I'm not saying they're part of the administration. She jerks her head in your direction. But I am saying we need to get those supplies to Briar before someone starts asking questions. Can I help? Peak smiles slyly. See, Ash? Help. Isn't that exactly what we need right now? Oh, also, I gotta tell you that the upkeep stuff in this game is really cool. So, every day you roll dice, and the amount of dice that you can roll is equal to how stable your body is. And every day you lose one of these ticks as your body breaks down, and then you have to inject a stabilizer to top it back up. So once we lose this tick, we'll only be able to roll 4 dice tomorrow. And then as this ticks down to here, then we'll only have 3, and then 2, and then 1, and then you die. Then you also have this bar down here, which is your energy. And it does require energy to do certain things, or losing energy can be a negative thing that happens, like a consequence of your quote-unquote dice roll. I don't think I can show you the other stuff while we're in a conversation, but this does also have RPG elements. It's very much like a visual novel, but there are RPG elements, and then there's also this dice economy for doing actions that's very cool, which I will show you once we are out of a conversation. Did you know that over 90% of nuclear waste can be recycled? Yeah. Apparently the US doesn't recycle it. You don't say. Peak. Ash rolls her eyes. Peak ignores her. We are with the refugees. The ones Havenage have cordoned off from entering the station. Ash interrupts. The ones that are being quarantined in makeshift vessels that barely made it to the eye to begin with. The ones that your station administrators have called an existential risk and are running out of supplies while their right to safety is being debated by people with no stake in their future. She quickly looks away, annoyed at her own outburst. Peak sighs. She's right. People are trapped out there, and they turn to Ash. We understand this is a big problem for the Eye. Hundreds of refugees and more ships turning up each cycle. They hold up a hand to stop Ash interrupting. But Ash turns away, her burning anger a palpable force in the close quarters of the corridor. They need supplies, and after everything they've been through, the quarantine isn't helping, Peak finishes. It's terrible. Ash looks back at you, her fierceness fading. Peak, please. Ash gathers herself and the supplies. Ash, we need help. Just like the refugees needed us, we need others too. They smile at her. Peak turns to you. Come find us. The climbing briar is docked at the broken spoke, past the greenway in the wastes. We have a good view of the cordon, though we are keeping our distance for now. Come help us. They squeeze your hand. Ash turns to leave and Peak follows, waving goodbye. A moment later, Ash shouts back down the corridor, Don't bother coming empty-handed. You want to help? Show us. Bring supplies or don't come at all. And with that, they disappear around the corner. Ash already picking up speed as Peak calls for her to slow down. A refugee flotilla? Where are they coming from and why now? Each time you think you begin to understand this place, something changes. So, there is a cool map here. Look at this cool map. Because it's this whole station is a ring. And you just kind of float along it and like have all these different places you can go. Hi, Rave. I mean, robots do dream. They're robots that are fully separate from us. So, let me get out of this real quick. Where is it? Yeah, so this is the RPG element of it. I have been playing this for a while, so I've gotten a bunch of upgrades. You start with a +1 in something. Or, actually, it's not a +1. I think you start with a special ability. And then you start with, I think like a -1 in something. We've only just started, Rafe. We just finished Soccer's story. And then we took a break. And now we are picking up Citizen Sleeper. And I had to go through and try to remember and explain all the stuff that we got up to when we played it back in May. It's been a long time. So I was doing a lot of recapping. And we've only just started, so you're coming in at a good time. So yeah, you basically do things, you complete drives, which are over here. And once you complete drives, you get upgrade points, which you can spend to improve your character and get different special abilities. So for example, I think we started with Transfer Intercept, a chance to gain cryo from interface actions. And now we've gotten almost all of the upgrades here. I think we did start with this +1. I think that's why it's black, because I think we started with this. And then anything that's red, maybe we had to put points into? Not sure. But yeah, we're playing an operator, which meant that we're very good at interface stuff. We're basically very good at using computers, and we're not very good at much else. But I've managed to make us very good at most things. It's black because you have the +2. Oh, okay. Hey, Olsen. I'm just trying to remember where I spent my points because it's been a very long time since I've done it. Oh, question then. Why is this one black but we have the +1 here, but this one, these are both red? I think it's gotta be because of where we spent points. Might have been wrong. We'll find out when we get another +2. I think I have to do this. So this will be the end of one of the stories that we did. Oh, what was Rico's voice? I don't remember. Rico has something in her hands when you enter the lab. It looks like a knotted twist of woody stems, a ring about the circumference of a human head, consisting of a single stalk at one side and a branched woven network at the other. As you approach, she holds it up, and in the lights of the lab, it looks like a crown. Rico finishes your thoughts. She smiles and shakes her head in disbelief. Is that what grew? Wait, wasn't she... I think I made her Irish. Tiz? I came to the plant this morning, and the loop was there, and that was that. She points to a lump in the edge of the ring. The seed grew right back into itself, twisted up out of the soil. That being you encountered in the cloud, as you call it, was it wearing one of these? She eyes you suspiciously, still unsure if she is somehow embroiled in an overlong prank. No. She sighs. I suppose that would have been too easy. She smiles to herself. A root crown. She places the object on the bench and shuffles to her analysis terminal, her face lit by its amber light in the dim corner of the lab. Well, it isn't exactly a plant anyway, not from what I can tell. She gives you a serious look. No leaves, no chloroplasts, just a series of filaments encased in cellulose walls. How did it grow? It seems the seed contained everything it needed. A self-contained entity, nothing less. She beckons you over. But that isn't the good part. Look at this. You see a cross-section scan of the crown. It's layers of plant-like structure on full view until you reach the center. There, instead of xylem and phloem for transporting nutrients, something branched and woven glints. Are those wires? She laughs. I'm not sure whether to say yes or no here. These are not wires like those in an electrical system, no, but they are filaments of a conductive material, so yes? She leans closer to the screen. But you see those branches? They remind me of dendrites or neurons. She rubs her eyes, which is frankly ridiculous. You look back at the crown on the table as Rico fusses over the scans, and you suddenly realize what it reminds you of. You remember signing the forms, the walk to the sleeper tanks, the cold metal floor. Then you remember the crown they fitted you with, the branching structure of wires and pads. No, not a crown. They called it an interface. The thing that uploaded and copied our brain. The thing that made us. The tool of your emulation. The transference from neurons to electrons. An interface. That is your gift from the gardener. You turn back to Rico. It's an interface. Rico looks at you puzzled. Something clicks in her mind. Perhaps something she heard from the sleeper she had helped all those cycles ago. She starts talking, partly to you, partly to herself. If the club heads were made for you... those are mushrooms that we collected for a quest. And she learned that they were specifically made for us, and if we collect more, it'll become stabilizer. If the club heads were made for you, then this too could be made for you. For your frame. She shuffles over quickly to the interface, a word that has stuck into the strange branched object quickly in your mind. You're right. That entity. It is the entity I've been looking for. She quickly shuffles to the crown. They are the entity which is controlling the Greenway, which has been maintaining it, supporting it, and has been guiding it for all these decades. She stops to catch her breath. They want to talk with you. Rico leads you to a seat. I'll be here, sleeper. If something happens, if you wish me to remove the crown, the interface, just squeeze. She grips your hand tightly. You meet her eyes, clouded with age, but bright with the thrill of new discoveries. Then she places the interface on your head and everything blinks out. So this is leading to the ending that we got, but we're able to say no here. We're able to back out of this ending, even though I think it's the best end. Back into the river, back into the dark flow. But something is different now. You are no longer pushed, no longer blocked and buffeted by the storm. Instead, it flows around you. You move and it parts, letting you pass. Something else resists, but it gives easily enough. You look back and see your body. You've left it behind. Somewhere Rika's voice is talking to you, asking you questions. It is excited, eager, desperate to know what lies on the other side, what the entity has to say to you. You realize how long she's waited for this moment. For the moment of meeting between the inhabitants of the Greenway and its protector. And yet, she is still on the outside. Look at how cool the gardener looks! You shake off the sadness. You'll be her eyes. Then you see the figure, gardener, out of the storm. Planting. It takes less than a moment to reach them. You've never felt so free. This is how the navigator must have felt, released from their prison. This, you think, is what it feels like to be in the place you were built to inhabit. The gardener does not turn at your approach. They go on planting, but their voice whispers in the waters, like a sharply rising current. You grew the gift. Your speech hisses around you. Good. I'm glad. I wanted to meet you. Then we are the same. Both eager shoots seeking one another. How does it feel to be free of your seed? They stoop to plant again. Good. That is good. They press a seed into the loamy depths. There was some disagreement, continues the gardener, as if you were picking up on a long-held conversation with the others. They felt you were a danger, but they are always cautious, especially the fungi. They like old loam, known gnomes, wide and stable networks. The fungi were cautious. Mostly, yes, although there are many among their number who favor short growth cycles, thick nutrient veins, and sudden shifts. He gestures out into the storm, and though you cannot see them, you feel presences all around, sensing this audience with great interest. After all, they understood that it was I who made them their crowns, and without them, they would not have joined the chorus. So they see that it is only fair that you get your chance to join too. You made more crowns. I made them all. Gardner moves away a little, looking for another planting spot. It was so lonely here. But before long I found them and began to let them in. Gardner stoops again. We are millions and we grow. I hope you understand. I am unused to speaking to your kind. It has been many cycles since my last conversation. I think it was with Chief Executive Trellick himself. You look around and you see it. Every growing thing, every non-human being in the Greenway is here. They are networked, connected, branched and linked by this strange being, this artifact of the old station. An impossible dream of senile farm administration AI. A living network. You could dissolve here, you realize, free of that decaying body. You wouldn't need to be a person. Why would you, among all these other minds? You turn away from the gardener for a moment and look back at your body. A tiny hairline thread connects you to it. You hear Rico's voice again, still asking, still checking in. Are you okay, Sleeper? What are they saying, Sleeper? Are you still there, Sleeper? Something in you sighs a long sigh. A sigh that speaks of an exhaustion beyond tiredness, an exhaustion rooted deep inside you. It stems from the effort of answering questions, of answering problems, getting up and breathing each cycle. But something else resists the sigh, a yearning, a sense of distance, a desire to squeeze that hand that holds you for its warmth, its blood, its complexity, to make a gesture that says, I'm still here, I'm still alive, I'm with you. Two ideas spin within you, making you nauseous. If you break that thread, you will be free. Free to dissolve here, to grow strange and beautiful among a million others. If you follow it, if you squeeze Rico's hand, you will wake up, back in that dying body, with all the pain and warmth that entails. Now is the moment to choose. So, when we did this before, I did not hesitate, and I broke the thread. I know! It's an intense choice, especially because it takes a while to get to this point, Dirk. You have to make so many connections to get here. you're not just leaving Rico behind, you're leaving behind every friend you've made on the station, every unfulfilled commitment. If we break the thread, we dissolve here and we end the game, because we get the ending where we just live in the cloud and become part of the chorus. And I think it's a beautiful ending. But we're gonna have to follow the thread to see. We're gonna have to, and the thing is, we can't come back to this. This is a one-time offer. If we rebuff them, that's it. But if we want the new content, we have to follow the thread. Dissolving sounds a bit too social for me, though. Among a million others, not TVH, thanks. I mean, they're just plants, though. I could vibe with a million plants. It's cool. They're not gonna be that intrusive. Anyone want to bop that? Thank you. So we're gonna have to follow the thread. Your eyes track the thread across the whirling dark back to your body. This choice, you realize, will not be presented again. You don't look back at Gardner. You don't dare risk it. Instead, you follow the thread delicately, carefully, like a diver following their lifeline back to the surface. The river whirls around you, but it doesn't pull. It isn't jealous. Neither does it understand. It is, after all, just a river. It isn't a person, a flesh and blood person with wants and desires, with the capacity for love and hate. It doesn't understand you, and you don't understand it. So you don't focus on it. You don't think about it. On what feels like such a long journey back through the dark. You set your mind on eyes instead, on hands, on things you can focus on, hold on to. And then, after an age of crossing, you are there. Settling back into the chair, into a body in a chair, and the overwhelming sensations that come with being a living thing with a rich and detailed sensorium. For a moment, you feel like you've made a terrible mistake. Who would choose this weight, this anxiety, this deep well at the center of existence? Then you feel it. Rico's hand gripped hard around yours, trembling a little, sweating a little. Rico's hand with its brittle bones and crumpled skin. Rico's hand. And in that moment, you understand why you made this choice. For the content. And then you squeeze Rico's hand and you wake up. So that gives you credits. It's technically an ending, but it's an ending where you can keep playing. So we're skipping the credits. Sleeper? Rico's voice comes wavering through the dark. Are you still with me? You sit up, the lab a bright green glare that fades as you gather yourself. I'm here. Rico smiles. Good. She squeezes your hand. I thought you'd left me for a moment. You get this choice, but fair you take the other? I think either one makes sense. I just felt like for the playthrough that we did, our sleeper wanted like that freedom. Just getting, like, this body is hard. It's so hard to maintain and upkeep, and being in a place that you felt like you're made to inhabit, where you're not crushed into something small and weak and dying. Yeah, it was, for me, it was like the easiest choice ever to just let go. What? She pauses. Who? She smiles. Tell me about it. Tell me everything. I'm gonna tell her the truth. You tell Rico everything. You tell her about the gardener, that strange farm administrator AI that has grown to be so much more. About the chorus, that impossible configuration of network plants, and finally, about the choice the gardener offered you. She listens attentively, but her responses are hard to read, and you wonder if she might have made a different decision had she been in your place. I mean, we made a different decision when we were in our place. Thank you, Sleeper, for telling me. I know it isn't easy to say such things. People so often do not wish to hear strange truths. She looks away. And thank you for returning to me. Though, I know you had your own reasons. She squeezes your hand reassuringly. Something passes between you then, a kind of shared sadness for the impossible choice. The choice to escape your body or to stay and suffer it. Her smile is warm and generous, and whatever the wisdom of your choice, you are glad to feel welcome in this moment, in this place. Then suddenly she stands and walks a little away, as if trying to escape an unpleasant thought. You worry that she knows all too well what it takes to make a choice like you did. Rico sighs. So, Sleeper, you plan to stay in the commune with us? Plan to? I'm glad to hear it. Rico crosses back over to you and takes one of your hands in both of hers. Hypha needs new blood if it wants to survive, and she squeezes. You are a good friend. Feelings mutual. Well, don't let me keep you. Rico waves you away and limps back to her terminal. As she does, you notice the crown in her hand, and she places it on the bench with great care. You can't help but feel a little curious about what she intends to do with it. Then you are out, breathing the air of the greenway, fresh as a spring morning. The dappled light makes a patchwork of the greening landscape, and you walk into it, sensing the movements of the gardener's chorus all around. And you are glad to be here in this strange and beautiful place a little longer. Okay, so now that I am out of all of these cutscenes, I can kind of show you how the game works. So the way the game works is you can navigate the map. You can click on different places and you have different options for things you can do. So for example, we could harvest mushrooms by we could put a dye in there, and then you can see over here your result. So for example, since we have +1 to intuit actions, a 3 when we put in there turns into a 4, and a 4 gives us a 50% chance of a neutral outcome, a 25% of positive or negative outcome. But it's safe, so the negative outcomes are usually not that bad. If we put a 5 in there, it becomes a 6, and that gives us a 100% chance at a positive outcome. However, I'm not going to do that right now. I have other things I need to look at. I'm glad you like a Stanlow. I'll stop talking about it now. You're okay, Ori. I think it's interesting. And specifically for weaponized waste, since that's been the biggest pushback. Did you know it can't be weaponized? Oh, interesting. I don't really understand why it can't be weaponized. I mean, I guess it depends on how one weaponizes it, but interesting. I guess for us, it's we kind of project on that a bit with our chronic illness experiences lately. So it's a bit like doing a metaphorical choice. I get that. So we're gonna cross over to the rim. And we're gonna head... Oh, right. Also, this little eyeball appears because We can also look at the network, which is really cool. And there's like little network nodes and you can like harvest data and stuff. But we are gonna head up. Because I remember we were doing something at Bliss's Bay. Are we just waiting? Yeah, we have to wait on the contract to get here. Okay, so have we done everything else? We could buy a spacer meal. Oh, we can sleep there if we need to. Let's head back down. Sort of think of nuclear as a good option for plugging the gap between fossil fuels and renewables until our renewable technology is good enough to cover all of our energy needs. That's only relevant if we find that we can be bothered to attempt to prevent total climate breakdown, which apparently we can't. Yeah. What's going on here? Nothing. We could unload containers and make some money doing that. We could buy scrap. I don't really need to. Oh, we could work on the side reel. Because we are still trying to work on that. Let's take a look at our drives here. So we have work for Rabia. Rabia wants you to be part of the Yatagan. Could they help you settle on the eye? This is basically working for organized crime. So I'm gonna probably not do that. We could finish the side reel ticket story. We are also helping Bliss, and then the Flotilla 8 I believe is new. I need to bring mushrooms to the Briar. How many mushrooms do we need? Oh, and also you can see we've completed, look how many, we've completed so many things. Hi, Golden. Oh, we have the girls for them. I just asked you to bring surprise supplies, and fragrant eye-grown girl caps seemed like the perfect thing to impress her. I've got them already. Welcome to episode Flex. It's the first of 3 episodic updates to Citizen Sleeper, telling the story of refugee flotilla which has arrived at the Eye. Completing the action above will begin that story, but be aware that it is intended for late game play. Don't worry, I've done pretty much it. Maybe I should work on the side reel ticket and get that done real quick. Where is that? Here. Nice. I really doubt that. I guess it's possible, but I doubt it. Let's head over to the communist commune. Okay, so I could repair if I needed to. I could sunbathe. It is safe. I don't really need stabilizer yet. I think it'd be better to just work at the commune. I'm not really sure what to do with this last die. Oh, I can re-roll it. Oh, that's a 4. That's much better. Let's collect some spores. Cool news about Fusion if you haven't seen it. They've made some reactions that generated more energy than the input needed, so there's some potential as an energy source. Oh, that's been said many times for Fusion prematurely. I wonder if that's the thing that HD ended up sharing in Discord that I haven't had time to look at, but that sounds very cool. I was watching an interview with an FBI agent where they were talking about who was on government watch lists. And they said the only watch list most people are on are the Facebook and Amazon sales watch list. I believe that. Okay, so we're gonna do a little sleep because we don't have anything to repair ourselves with yet, and that's fine. So now you see we only get 4 dice because our condition is deteriorating. And you know what? That's okay. So how's Citizen Sleeper been? We've only been playing it a little bit, and I'm just kind of shoring up some stuff that I've never done before we do the new content. Your crew slowly filters out of the shipyard locker room, the bubbling chatter reducing with each group that leaves. There is excitement in the air. Havenage just made an announcement. The assembly teams are done. Sat on the locker room bench, you can feel the side reel out there. Its hulking mass now intimately familiar to you. Over the past cycles, you have watched it grow, be assembled. You have walked through its veins and welded its bones. Now it is ready for the final stage. It will go to testing now and then enter a final process of sealing and resealing, checking and rechecking before it is deemed suitable for its generational trip. This is a generation ship, by the way. But for now, your work is done. You can't help but feel proud. A cough interrupts your thoughts. It's Lem, changing out of his work gear, Mina nowhere to be seen. He smiles. I don't remember your voice, Lem. She'll be ready soon. I know. It's exciting, although if you think about it, we're all out of a job now. He quickly adds, not that I'm complaining. He comes to sit beside you on the bench. She's got to be in her best shape when she carries you, Mina, and me out of here. So confident. Lem smiles apologetically. Why not? I figure I'm due a lucky turn by now. He rubs his hands nervously. No use in wondering what if. Until they draw, anyway. And there's a few cycles till then. Lem's right, but the odds seem unlikely anyway. How many are working in the shipyard? Hundreds? 1,000? You've certainly seen more faces than you can count pass through. And are the Celis Foundation even going to keep their promise? Out here on the Eye, you get the sense that no one will hold them to it. Why else would they be building the side reel in a surrogate system? As you think, Lem watches you with a worried look. How's Mina doing? Lem is surprised by the question, but smiles. She's doing well. She misses having you over, actually. I need to get the two of you together again soon, especially now I won't see you here either. Lem gazes into space. She's pretty stuck on you, actually. She told me the other cycle that she doesn't want to go unless you can come too. He sighs. You ever been in a thunderstorm sleeper? A really big one? I don't remember. Lem shoots you a worried look for a moment. It's something else, he smiles. The sound, the smell, the rain hammering down, the whole sky stretched out and bruised and roaring and huge. The place I was born, New Pembroke. A dry old rock in a Conway system, had 2 seasons. One of them was dry as bone, dusty, ugly. The other one was long storm. One long storm, a side effect of terraforming efforts, they said. Rain used to rattle off the roofs like bullets. It washed the dust away, turned the streets to rivers. It'd sing us to sleep and wake us up in the morning. We'd wait half a year just to see it again. The best day was the one where the first drops fell. He sniffs. Some days I wake up swearing I can hear it again. I was thinking, Mila has never seen a storm, never even felt rain. She's grown up here, and the ring her only horizon, always in the dark. I want to change that for her. I will. Of course, almost there. Lem stands, stretching. Best get back to the little one anyway. With the shifts done, I reckon she'll be happy to have me home for a few cycles. He shoulders his gear. See you in a few for the draw? I'll be there. Right on, he grins. Lem leaves, making you the last person in the cavernous locker room. As you sit, you think about the rain, and a little hope creeps in. Is it possible? Could the side reel really take you to a planet? A place with weather, with skies, with life? You get up quickly, before you can think about it anymore. It's too soon to hope, too dangerous. There's work to be done. So now, we're waiting on the draw. Technically, this is another ending we could get. Almost bet money he lived in Tennessee or Kentucky. I don't think it... Shipyard, what's going on here? Oh, the side reel draw will happen here in 3 days. What else were we working on? It wasn't the tea house, was it? Wasn't there like a... Oh, it was the Overlook Bar we were doing stuff for, I think. The girl slides from the bottle in the lumpy recycled glass, a pale, grassy yellow under the Overlook's warm lights. The spacer nods and takes the drink, bringing it up to their face in both hands like an offering bowl. This is the good stuff. The stuff Talus says is aged in a wooden cask, stored in some closed-off part of the old station among corroded wires and softly looping systems. But sometimes it's hard to tell if Tala is joking. Either way, you like pouring this stuff. It gets on your fingers and then you rub them together and you can smell the mossy drink, cut through with aniseed, mushrooms, wood, as the alcohol evaporates. You like those who order it, too. The aged Corolla is kept beneath the bar, open to order only by those who know it's there, like the quiet spacer sitting at the bar right now. They're far enough away that you can freely watch them as you close the bottle and tuck it beneath the bar. You call them a spacer because they bear the hallmarks, pale, vac-suited, bird-boned, and hunched beneath the weight of the station's spin gravity. But the closer you look, the less you see a type. Pale eyes, almost gray, but kind. Delicate fingers that lightly drum the bar as if it were an instrument. A shock of black hair almost covering a forehead scar. Scars are something you've learned to value. They're what marks out your body from the hundreds, maybe thousands, who knows, of similar models that rolled out of SNRP's biolabs. You find yourself rubbing one of your forearms. A rough little split. Something that, on the good days, you might think of as a mark of defiance. Suddenly you hear a heavy clinking at the door. It creaks open and a huge cylindrical metal tank tumbles through, slamming onto the floor. Shit! Tala breezes in from behind it, a whirl of hair and bright eyes. Shit, shit, shit! Have you looked at the streamer info from the React beta yet? Is it useful? Am I in it? I'm not even I haven't looked at it yet. Hold on. Where do you see Reacts? I don't even know where to find it. Where is it? I'm looking for it now. Let's try looking at my overview. So no, I can tell you I've not yet looked at it. I don't know where to find it. Seriously, where the heck is it? Stream summary, maybe? Oh, hey, I got some reactions. The people have spoken. We got 4 reactions. 2 people said it was hype and funny, and someone sent me love. Thank you. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what to do with that. I'm like, okay. We spoke by clicking on 5 emotes. It's true. Honestly, I don't hate it because it does allow you to communicate something while still just lurking. So I think that's cool. It surely exists. You're not wrong. It did a react. Thank you. Tala? Oh gosh, what did I make her? Southern? Sleeper. She ducks behind the bar and comes over. Can you help me with this? You look at the huge metal tank suspiciously. I'm coming. You come around the bar and get onto one side of the tank. Okay, says Tala. On my count, 1, 2, 3. You both heave the tank up to standing. Somehow. You hold it in place, struggling to keep it steady. Tala! In the back comes a voice from behind the tank. I don't know if Twitch knows what to do with that either. Par for the course in terms of Twitch products. You're not wrong. I don't know what to do with that. Us in 95% of social situations. I relate to that a bit. People keep reacting and I don't know what to do with my hands. What do you do with your hands? Somehow you manage to lug the huge thing into the back room, where you place it on one corner, dwarfing the rest of the contents in the cramped space. As you do, you hear a crunch. You stand from the back and look at the expired rations oozing out from under the tank. Oh, shit. Tyler looks at you apologetically. I know you like those. It's okay. You push the crushed rations to one side. That's the end of that. Tyler looks exhausted and rubs her shoulders. Francis, I swear to... Francis? Francis! I mentioned him already. My guy on the door deals with the suppliers, tall. She sighs. He was supposed to be back from Etienne's up in the Greenway by now. Back with our Garol. She leans against the tank. Seems like he's got lost again or joined the Haifa commune. We need that Garol. There's 4 other bars near here, and the spacers sure as hell don't come to the Overlook for the ambiance. She looks through the open door to check if anyone can hear her. She knocks on the hollow tank. So I'm taking matters in my own hands. She smiles. Welcome, sleeper, to the Overlook Distillery. You look around the dark room. Needs some work. She picks at some paint flanking from the metal walls. Well, I might need some help, though. She shrugs. You up for it? Knocks on the tank again. Gonna be fun? Happy to help? Okay. She grabs you by the shoulders. I'm excited. She turns around and looks at the tank. I reckon we chop this thing in half. One half for fermentation, the other we turn into a still. We also need to gather the ingredients. She turns back and looks at you. You look like more of a chopper than a gatherer. Have you seen my inventory full of mushrooms? She smiles. So how about you build the still and tub while I work on the rest? Oh, wait, sleeper, I have an idea. Tala is grinning now and it's making me nervous. To make up for the rations, how about we put a kitchen in here too? Is it gonna fit? We'll make it work. She turns back to the tank. This is gonna be great, she says to herself. You look at the dented tank and the bare room. At least she has a vision. Tala nudges you out of the back room and closes the door. As you go back to the bar, you hear the banging and thumping begin. The spacer finishes up their drink and nods in your direction as they leave. You can't quite tell if it's a gesture of sympathy or good luck. So much for a quiet shift. So that gives us a new task to build the still and help with the distillery. We're not going to do that right now, though, because I have other things to do. Let's re-roll this. It's a 2. That's not much better. This only bumps it to a 3. Hold on. We only have 1 upgrade point. All right, let's do a stretch. And we'll do a hydrate. Have you ever taken crushed like a little like single serve bag of Doritos and crushed it up and turned it into a taco salad? Because I have before and it's not bad. It's a little salty, but it's not bad. Taco salad? Yeah, it's like instead of putting your taco stuff into a tortilla, you put it on a bed of lettuce. Taco salad. Have not, but I'll have to try. It was something that they served when I was like in college or something, and I was like, that's weird, but okay. Personally, I think it's a bit salty, but it's not bad. You know what? I'm just gonna drop off the mushrooms. We came here for new content. Let's do it. How interesting. You came! Peak smiles as you walk into the Climbing Briar's cargo hold behind a gloomy Esh. Sounds like it might be better with unsalted nacho chips. Yeah, if you just do tortilla chips, I think that would be better, and that's usually what one uses in a taco salad. But if you've ever had a Dorito taco from Taco Bell or whatever, I forget what it's called. But if you've had that and you like it, it's the same kind of vibe. My in-laws use crushed up Doritos as the topping on several things. I find it concerning. Uh-oh. I will say I have never topped anything with Doritos before, but I wouldn't necessarily turn my nose up at it. Will your Taco Bell get a Crunchwrap Supreme? I would not get a Crunchwrap Supreme because I don't like sour cream on my tacos. However, just a regular Crunchwrap is pretty good. I like their soft tacos. The gordita is yummy. Wait, soap? Soap-ream? Wait, what? I don't get it. What? They brought mushrooms. Ash tosses the mushroom caps onto a crate, raising her eyebrows at Peak. Peak gives her a look. Thank you, Sleeper. They pick one up and sniff at it. Are these edible? Yes. Peak turns the cap over in their fingers before putting it down. We're not so used to fresh produce. Ash is securing crates as she speaks and doesn't look up. Hawthorne doesn't have much in the way of farming. They're an acquired taste. I'm sure the refugees will acquire it. Ash wipes off her hands on a rag. Most of them are from Ember's moon, so they're used to eating green and growing things. Not like XPR roughnecks. Wait, did they make a soap? Did they make a Crunchwrap soap? I feel like I'm missing so many references. Wait, we jokingly talked about Taco Bell scented soaps. Oh, was that when we were joking about unnecessarily gendered everything? That's right. Now I remember. I forgot the whole Taco Bell part of the conversation though. Yeah, I remember now. XPR? Queso body wash? I hate it. It also has to be bright yellow. Like a bright orangey yellow. Oh, I hate it. Ugh. A bright orange yellow and very, very opaque. So it looks like it's actual, like a nacho cheese. I hate it. Crunchwrap Supreme was the joke of the day. I'm afraid I don't remember that one, but I believe you, and it's good. Oh, the taco por This an interrogation? She glares. Either way, we are done with that place, which is all you need to know. Ash leans back against the crate she was securing. We're gonna need more than a few mushrooms if we want to help those refugees, though. What do they need? Food, water, components, a whole lot of things. Ash stands and walks over to the mushrooms you brought, placing them into a small container with care. The problem isn't just getting supplies, it's getting them through to the ships. Yeah, these are... So you can't just speak to Havenage. We aren't exactly welcome guests, Peak explains. If anyone figures out we came in with the refugee ships, we'll be quarantined as well. Okay, why is there a quarantine? Peak jumps in. The Eye is a closed-loop life support system, just like any orbital installation. Any unfamiliar illness or significantly increased strain on the life support could cause a cascading collapse in its systems. So then why are you just not quarantining? Ash scoffs. Are we making excuses for these bureaucrats now? Taco Robane! No! Goo cheese shoot. I hate this. I hate it here. Why are we like this? Peak turns. We are being realistic-ish. But these people aren't an increased strain. They're living people. Ash stares at you. Even calling them refugees is just a way of turning a lot of scared, desperate people into a single monolithic group. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Ash slides the container full of mushrooms onto one of the cargo hold's racks. Look, as much as I'd like to chat, we've still got a lot of space to fill in this hold, so if you're gonna help... I think Ash is trying to say we need your help, and quickly, Peak says, glancing at her. The refugees behind the cordon, they won't be able to hold out indefinitely. We need to get supplies to them in the next 12 cycles, or... Ash steps forward. Or Havenage will have to bear the responsibility for whatever happens next. So what can I do? There's 3 things we still need to secure. Water, food, and scrap components for ship repairs. Ash gestures to the storage containers around the hold. Water we can find a way to source, or my preference, just siphon off from the underground reservoirs in the Greenway. Peak raises their eyebrows. Ish. She ignores them. For food, things could be tricky. The mushrooms are delicious, I'm sure, but no way we can get enough volume to feed a flotilla. However, I saw an algae sack on the way over if we can get access. Not more stealing-ish, Peak sighs. I didn't say steal. She stares at them indignantly. If we can get access, we can work the stack, harvest some algae for the flotilla. Those stacks churn out vast quantities in short time scales. And the repair components, Peak asks tentatively. Ash smiles. Just look around you, Peak. This whole place is made of scrap. She shoots you a glance. I'm sure the sleeper has their sources. They can bring them right here. We get everything we need before time runs out? Perfect. We get most of it? Also good. Either way, in 12 cycles, I'm going to take what we have and go. But how will you get through? Ash shoulders a container. I thought I'd leave that up to you, Peak. They flinch. Are you serious? Ash, I know we said that we would help the flotilla, but at what point? They stop, take a breath. Take this seriously, Ash. I don't know the first thing about breaching a quarantine cordon. Maybe not. Ash looks at you. They might. They slipped out from an S&ARP facility, didn't they? Plus, they've been here longer than us. You always are trying to get me to find help. Well, here it is. She gestures at you. Help. Pete glances between the two of you. I swear to. I sigh. I need to think this one through. Meet me at the cordon in a couple of cycles, Sleeper. Maybe we can figure something out. Meanwhile, Ash meets your eye. You can help me acquire the supplies. Discreetly. She smiles. We have to keep this quiet, keep Havenage out of the loop. Once they get suspicious, this is all over for all of us. This all suddenly seems a little too real, too dangerous. You've only just found your feet on the eye. This is not the time for causing trouble. Tragic weakness of Mexican food. Hard tacos are the most fun and most delicious vessel, but they're completely unfit for their purpose. One bite and they crumble and drop their filling. Hey, Derek, if you're making them at home, I have a suggestion for you. Put cheese on the bottom and let it melt. And then put your taco meat and then your toppings. Because my biggest problem is that they'll usually crack right down the bottom at that fold. But if you put cheese on the bottom, it acts like a glue that helps to hold it together. Maybe I have, Derek. Maybe I have. Maybe I've eaten a lot of tacos in my day. Does this cheese glue also work on emotional distress? I mean, I think cheese solves a lot of problems. Come find us. We'll be out there trying to pull this all together. Ash goes to the back of the hold to start packing another container. Pete, come help me. I'm just saying, if you like hard tacos, if you like hard shell tacos, and I do like hard shell tacos, just put cheese in the bottom. Pete glances back at her. Sleeper, look, we didn't choose this either. They lower their voice. Help us finish this. We set up a base camp on the Broken Spoke, and you're welcome to rest there any of the cots while we work on this. They smile. We're in this together. Peek! Ash shouts, and they walk back into the hold to help with the container. As you leave the climbing briar, you look out at the broken edge of the eye's ring, where the havenage is cored and blinks with tiny red lights. What are you getting yourself into? Okay, let's take a look at all the things we need. So, we need 8 scrap. That's a lot, and we probably should have done it tomorrow. Because we're about to lose an entire day. Okay, we've got a lot of money. And this ship is about to leave, so we're gonna just buy as much scrap as we can. I don't think we are allowed to buy anymore. Yeah. If we just get a ship mine fragment, I don't need that. Where can I sell that? You're gonna have to tell me how the cheese glue works out for you. I thought there was a place I could sell ship mine fragments. Oh, if I get a whole ship mine, I can sell it, I think. Okay, that's fine. We could siphon water. Ooh, we could hack the sensors. Reduces the alert level. Keeps you from getting locked out. Yeah, we'll have to just do a lot of this tomorrow, I think. What about the algae stack? I would rather... I think we're gonna try to negotiate today. Okay, I'll take it. That's actually pretty good for us. Alright, I think we're just gonna sleep because we have no dice. The first thing we need to do is get as much scrap as possible. So I think we need to scavenge it. Unless there's another place to buy scrap, because we've got plenty of money. I'm not worried about that. Yeah, that's just buying a shipmined core. This is just working. And I think stealing just gets you random items. I'd rather not, though. That just lets us fabricate a ship mind. The ord exchange is just like selling stuff or using the stocks. We can't buy any more scrap there, but we can buy... Oh, that's just a ship mine fragment. I don't want that. Oh, that's annoying. I was hoping it'd be just more scrap. Havenage offices. I'm not helping them, so no. What is this? Ticking clock. Side rail draw. Horizon is being moved. Okay, so there's nothing we can do to acquire more scrap except scavenge. So now we have 3. 4, but we lost a bunch of energy. So let's buy some food. I don't think that's worth it. I don't want to waste condition. So I think we're just going to use this to negotiate for access. Nice. Yes. Easy Cheese is aerosol cheese. It's not, I mean, I guess it's kind of foam. I wouldn't really call it foamy. Sleeper. Mortz is leaning against the corridor wall. It's time. He looks away. Big job just came in. Grand finale. You up for it? Ready. All right, then. We're in business. He pushes away from the wall. This has to work, Sleeper. Has to. He looks down. If it doesn't, I don't remember your voice, Moritz. I'm sorry. Are we in trouble? The bay, you mean? He shrugs. We were already in trouble before you got here. The work so far hasn't been enough. Look, Bliss had a rough time of it. I thought you of all people would understand that. He runs a hand through his hair. Sorry, I didn't mean to be. He smiles. Bliss is a good one. She gave me a chance and I owe her. He straightens up. I know you have your own things going on, Sleeper. We all do. But the Bay needs someone. Bliss needs someone. Hell, I need someone to keep Bliss from spinning out completely. He scratches the side of his head. Otherwise, there's not much I can do. He shakes his head, and I would hate not to pay back my debts. Moritz stretches. I gotta get back. He nods and walks away. I'm out. See you up there. I'm a little bit busy at the moment, Moritz. Nice. Okay, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and use this because it will be 100% positive. That gives us the scrap that we need. You look over the pile of scrap components lying in the briar. You look around, the bay is empty. Esh and Peak are elsewhere on the station or on the bridge of a couple of levels up. You begin sorting through the pile, separating out useful components and boxing them by use. You don't recognize everything you find, but before long you get into the rhythm of sorting. Have a good lurk while you eat, Rafe. Maybe Cheese Whiz is also different in Canada. Ours is spreadable like cream cheese, but more processed. I would say ours is also spreadable and more processed. I just wouldn't call it a foam. I would say it's more liquidy than a foam, but it's like, yeah, I would say it's more like cream cheese consistency, but thinner. So yeah, I think it is the same thing. I think we just differ on what we consider foam. As you do, your mind starts to drift, your attention being drawn into the dark corners of the bay. The briar is in surprisingly good condition, considering that Hawthorne and XPR must have been operating it for decades by now. The marks of care are everywhere, from the delicate patch jobs, polished to meld into the original finish, or the carefully bound wiring running through custom trunking. Ash loves this ship, that much is clear. I looked up most popular American cheese a little while ago as I had no idea, and I think it was all fairly recognizable: cheddar, mozzarella, and parmesan. Yeah, I mean... So, yeah, we mostly eat those kinds of cheese, but we also eat very processed things called American cheese. Which I'm not sure how it's made, and it has a very distinctive taste. Some is more processed than others, but it's very soft and melty and processed. But yeah, I would say probably the cheese I eat the most is either Swiss or mozzarella, and I eat a lot of cheddar. We have Colby Jack, a lot of Parmesan, Romano. We also have things called butter cheese, which I don't know why it's called butter cheese. Farmer's cheese. What else is common? I used to work in a deli. I know cheeses. Havarti is very good. Oh, I don't usually get the individually wrapped stuff. Farmer's cheese. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's tangy. It's made from cow's milk. It's a white cheese, and it's got it's a softer cheese, kind of like maybe like a Monterey Jack in consistency. Like, it's softer than provolone. It's very bendy, but it's very easy to rip, and it's kind of tangy. It's got a tartness to it. Made from farmer's milk, probably. The marks of care are everywhere, from the delicate patch jobs, polished to meld into the original finish, or the carefully bound wiring running through custom trunking. Ash loves this ship, that much is clear. Oh, also Gouda and smoked Gouda. Soft cheeses are illegal here? Camembert and brie? I mean, depends on the cheese. Like, unpasteurized cheeses, I think, are illegal. Depends on how soft they are, though. Something catches your eye in one of the dark corners. A matte black stack of crates you hadn't spotted before. Yeah, exactly. Raw cheese is not legal here. You can't sell it. Even though definitely have seen people sell it and advertise it. And I've definitely had it before. They're sleek and compact, tucked away behind some bigger, more worn containers. I'm poking my nose into it. You put the components away and go over to the sleek crates. You run your hands across their textured surface, but there's little hint of what lies inside in the opaque metal casing. Then you see it, a yellow symbol embossed into the far side of the crate, a universal sigil used by spacers, corporations, and manufacturers alike. It's one you've seen throughout your time as a sleeper, its meaning all too familiar. Explosive contents. I don't think I've ever had camembert before. I'm actually not sure if I've had brie before either. You hear a hiss, and Ash comes through the bay's lock. She barely registers your presence, nodding at you as she passes. Sleeper. She busies herself with some task at the back of the bay. I'm just gonna finish the job. I'd rather ask the other person. With Ash in the bay as well, the atmosphere shifts, and you suddenly feel watched. You quickly finish up the sorting and slip out, waving goodbye to her back as you do. Alright, what's next? Oh. Nothing? Okay. I guess we could negotiate access. May as well. Ah. Well, we gotta eat. Alright, we're gonna head back over. Actually, wait a minute. Before we head over, let's head up. Okay, this is not too bad. We can do this tomorrow. We just have to get it done during the solar window. So, oh gosh. Alright, we have 2 clocks we have to worry about. And they're pretty tight time frames, but it's alright. We'll get it done. Oh. Apparently I have some active scenes to do. Oh. Sleeper! Peak catches your attention from the shadowy corner you were leaning against. Any trouble getting up here? None? Good to hear. Come, take a look at this. They beckon you over to a nearby window which looks across the ruined ring to the blinking red lights of the Havenage cordon. The cordon's temporary structures, a net of metal struts meant to detect and dissuade any ships from entering or leaving the flotilla, jut out into the black. And all around, the tugs flit, securing them in place and tending to the red blinking drones that demark the quarantine. It's an impressive and worrying sight. What do you think? Pink interrupts your thoughts. How would you get through? He's one of the tugs. As an escort, you mean? I doubt we could fit all the supplies onto one of those tugs, but if it seemed like the Briar was being officially escorted through the cordon. Peak squints at the red lights, but then we'd be stuck inside. Peak turns away from the window and rubs their forehead. It's just really wrapped us up in something here, hasn't she? The question is spoken under their breath, and they don't seem to expect an answer. The silence grows. Are there other options? If you got them, I'm happy to hear them. Peak smiles. A TTRPG story involving a band forming a plot to steal a wheel of dragon cheese. So you said that, and my brain immediately went to, rather than like a D&D thing, it'd be like playing mouse guard, but you're stealing a cheese, or honey heist, but you're all mice instead. The way I see it, there are 3 parts to making it through that cordon. They gesture out the window at the strange structure. Deception, distraction, and speed. We'll need all of them for a clean passage through. Deception means tricking the cordon security into thinking we're meant to be there. Maybe the thug escort would work? Anything that makes the Briar look official. Distraction, meanwhile, will be all about diverting attention so that no one looks too hard at what the Briar is doing. If we can create a gap in the cordon scanning in their Thorin systems, that should keep them busy. Finally, speed will mean making sure the Briar is ready to roll. Perhaps we can do a little work on the ship to get ready? S surely wouldn't mind. We lean back from the window. How does that sound? Risky. Oh, well. They smile. Yes, there is always going to be a risk. That's how this works. You've got to be on board with that. Peak looks down at their slate. 10 cycles left. They glance out the window at the cordon nervously. 10 cycles to gather these supplies and prep this plan. It's tight. Very tight. Peak looks at you. If this goes wrong... Peak sighs. Just get out, okay? You squeeze your shoulder. I'll follow Ash anywhere, but you won't need to get dragged down with us. It won't come to that. Peak brightens up a little. Of course, but just keep it in mind. Let's get to it. Peak stretches. Tell Ash about the improvements to the Briar and the rest. Let's explore the cordon as best we can and look for openings. I have no idea what guardian angel sent you to us, Sleeper. Peak smiles, but I'm very glad they did. Alright. New drives discovered. Breaking quarantine. Let's scope out the cordon. There's so many things to do. And still only 1 upgrade point. It's fine. This is fine. Yeah, we don't need to deliver any more scrap, so it's really just doing these things. So we're gonna sleep for now. And when we wake up, we're gonna go to work. Oh gosh, that's a terrible roll. But I'm very good at interface. Let's get breakfast first. Okay, we need to untangle the sails. And these will be at +5. So that should be fine. I'm getting neutral outcomes, but you know what? That is okay. And we're gonna re-roll this. It's a 4. That's much better. Beautiful. Okay. So we're about to only have 3 dice left. So I think we're gonna take some stabilizer. Because we got plenty. And then we're going to... Oh, we have more active scenes somewhere, apparently. Where? Oh, right, the side reel drawing. I forgot about that. The crowds have already gathered by the time you get to the shipyard and you recognize faces among them. People you have worked alongside on the side reel. The intervening cycles have turned their excitement to anxiety. A few of them smile at you. Instead, the nervous energy of the crowd fills the space, creating a feedback loop of growing tension. You pick out Lem and Mina and work your way over to them, pushing through the crowd. He silently raises his eyebrow. Look at her, she's so cute! His anxiety obvious, but Mina flashes you a huge smile, unaware of the tension. Robot! She shouts, reaching out to you. She gratefully accepts your hug, leaning against your chest, and Lem smiles, seemingly glad to share the weight of Mina for a moment. Quite the tornado. Lem glances around, pulling Mina close. I don't think patience is one of the crowd's strengths. The sound of an argument towards the back catches you and Lem's attention. He's putting it lightly. This place seems set to explode. They'll manage them. Lem looks around nervously. I sure hope so. This is Aster Enghart of the Sealess Foundation. The announcement echoes from the speakers at the shipyard entrance, and shouts of "Quiet!" rapidly follow. I'm sorry I can't be there to meet you all, and thank you on behalf of Sendra Sealess for the work you have done on the side reel horizon. Most of the crowd strains to see Aster's face, but the small display shows only a ghostly white figure smudged and unclear. Sendra wanted me to pass on her personal thanks for your commitment to and belief in the Sealess Foundation's mission. We chose the Eye for this project because we knew that we would find like-minded individuals here, especially among the ranks of the Venerable Havenage Association. Unlike most of the Corps, we neither believe Erlin's Eye to be a threat or a rogue state, but instead an embryo for the formation of a new, decentralized social structure, one where each citizen might be the master of their own destiny. A ripple of impatience runs through the crowd. They didn't come here for a sermon. You are all pioneers, just like those core citizens who the side reel horizon will carry in cryosleep to the planet that will become the Foundation's first frontier world, Sealess One. At the mention of the destination world, excited conversations break out amongst the workers. There, our citizens will be able to create their own innovative, bottom-up economic order aligned with the principles set down by Sendra Sealess herself: freedom, resilience, and self-sustenance. This is all thanks to your tireless efforts in the Havenage Yards. As a reward for those efforts, you may know that we are offering a select group the opportunity to join the caretakers of this vision, the staff of the Sidereal Horizon, who will maintain the vessel during its multi-decade transit through the interstellar space. Lem turns to you, his eyes bright. This is it. This draw has been performed at random by the central AIs of the Foundation and is final and binding. Please note, only licensed contractors of the Foundation are eligible for this draw. I know you have all been eagerly awaiting this day, and without further delay, I will now read the sealess identification numbers of those chosen for this great honor. A murmur runs through the crowd. Sealess identification numbers? Licensed contractors? You've never even heard the term mentioned. Is this something you were supposed to be assigned? You glance at Lem, but his eyes are fixed forward, wide and shimmering. All around you, people are speaking in hushed tones like a rising wave. Aster starts reading out sequences of numbers and letters, and panic begins to set in. No one seems to know what's happening. Somewhere near the front of the crowd, someone shouts in celebration and everyone pushes forward. Lem? You turn to see Lem still staring forward. Mina's scared now, and the shouts start. Daddy? Someone throws something at the entrance and it rattles against the shipyard doors. You see for the first time. Havenage security stood on either side, scared, arguing between themselves. You feel the anger rising in the crowd. Lem, let's go. He doesn't move. They might call out names. I can't. Mina tugs at his dog tags. It's not happening. Lem blinks rapidly and then he turns to you. He opens and closes his mouth and looks down at Mina. He sees the fear in her eyes and understands it's time to go. You lead Lem and Mina out, shoving people aside. As you do, you hear the sound of scuffles emerging at the front of the crowd, of metal canisters bouncing off the shipyard walls. You keep your head down and walk away. The sound of Aster reading off ciphers echoing above the chaos like some strange mantra. Why is sustenance spelt with an E? I don't know. Could be a typographical error. When you turn to Lem, there are tear tracks running down his cheeks. Amina is sniffling into his jacket. You feel the sadness rising in you too. They screwed you. Screwed all of you. You were never even on the list. The feeling is as unpleasant as it is familiar. You stare ahead into the tunnel as the security sirens sound out, the signal for the coming violence. Drive failed. Interesting. I've never failed a drive before. Actually, that's not true. I think I did fail one drive. Because I think there was a drive to do a thing before hunters arrived, and it didn't work. Anyway. I wonder if I would have had a chance if I had, like, done something here at the Havenage office and, like, got a number or something. It doesn't matter because I didn't want to go anyway. But I am curious. Like, I feel like there is a way to succeed it, but you probably just have to have the right stuff, which I didn't have. Okay. We are heading up. Because we need to work on this. Beautiful. That's gonna do it. Look at Bliss! I love Bliss. The character designs in this are very good. The atmosphere of the airlock is euphoric. You and Bliss keep grinning at each other like idiots, exhausted, blinded, sore, and aching idiots. Sleeper, that was incredible. She punches you on the arm. I never thought we were gonna make it. Those idiots tangled the whole thing up like nothing I've ever seen. We make a good team. Bliss smiles a winning smile. At the lock's inner door clunks open Moritz. Gives a rare whoop. He looks exhausted too, and for good reason. Moritz has been one ferrying tools and parts back and forth from the ship. His tired smile tells you he's glad it's done. Sleeper. Bliss. Shakes his head. Impressive. When I saw the ship come in, I thought there was no way. Why, thank you, Moritz, she winks, for believing in us. Moritz rolls his eyes. You know what I mean, take the compliment. He shoulders some of the gear that came back in with you and Bliss and heads to the racks to stow it. Bliss turns to you. I think you should be the one to do the honors. She nods to the ragged-looking console that Moritz assembled. I don't want to jinx it. She smiles, but you can see she's genuinely nervous. You glide over to the console and check the screen. It takes a second to see what you are doing through the flickering cracked display, but after a moment you see the accounts. And there it is. Almost 1,000 cryo sat in the bay's transfer account. Well, Bliss calls, have we been screwed again? No, we did it. Bliss kicks off from the floor and spins up into the bay, shouting as she does. The noise takes Moritz by surprise, and he knocks a rack of parts, scattering handfuls of metal fixings across the bay. The sight is something, glinting steel catching the work lights like glitter. Sorry, says Bliss, grinning when she comes back down. I needed that. She kicks off and joins you at the terminal. Moritz even managed to sell that produce. We made a tidy profit. Like, eventually. She laughs. Here. She loads a stack of blank chits into the terminal and transfers a chunk of the cryo to them. This is your cut. Bliss hands you the chits. Thank you for believing in this place. She looks away and smiles, even when I couldn't. When you first met me, I was on the edge of giving up. And it would have taken all it would have taken was like one more push, but now this place is sparking again. Work is coming in, there are funds in the accounts, even Moritz has spring in his step. We both look over at him, happily racking up tools. And that's because of you. She punches you on the arm. He likes you. He's a good kid. He isn't bad, is he? She leans in closer. You know he came here looking to rob the place? I gave him a job instead. She laughs. Don't tell him I told you that. I just thought it might help you understand the kid. Moritz turns to look at you, and both Bliss and you awkwardly wave. Maybe it's time to change the subject. What now? From here on out, it's going to be a little easier. I'm going to look for some component contracts, stuff that'll keep us inside the bay, not out in the black. No need to risk our necks if we, don't have to. You want to cash out? That's fine, but, there'll always be work here for you when you need it. I'll be back. She smiles, and then out of nowhere quickly gives you a hug. She takes a step back and glances around reflexively. Take care, she says softly. You too. You turn to leave. And Sleeper? Yeah. She smiles. Don't spend it all at once. Oh, cool. We just made 300 bucks. And then we can do work here. Which we can't today because, like, we're exhausted. Alright, we're gonna pop over to the communist commune. And we're gonna get some shut-eye. And then tomorrow, since we've saved Bliss's shop, we can then work on the climbing briar. Oh, I have so much to do. Okay. So since we've got money, we're gonna go buy breakfast. There's a note on the door of the unit. Sleeper gone to find work. Lem. Okay, good luck to you. Where is emphasis stall? Much better. All right, let's cross back over. Let's use our fours. Thanks for the hydration reminder, Dezo. Okay. We just need one more, so maybe we'll start working on the water? I want to use my 6 here because this is dangerous. We could lose condition here. Oof, that's rough. That's really rough. Yeah, let's try using our 2 here. Oof. Do we bother with this? No, we're more likely to get a negative. We'll just do it tomorrow. Can I use this 1 anywhere else? These are all risky. So this becomes a 3. Let's give it a try. Oh, we got some coordinate intel. I'll take it. I appreciate the hydration reminder. Okay. We need water. Let's keep siphoning. We're gonna use our 4 here. Oh, and then we have to grow it. I mean, it's only gonna take... Oh, but each... Oh, gosh. This is... Oh, no. Let's reroll. Much better. Alright, that's fine. This is pretty intense. There's just so much to do. And I could really use some more scrap so I could do some self-repairs, but that is not an option right now. I mean, it could be a neurodivergence thing. I suppose you don't have to see someone about it, but it could, if you think it's something that could be useful for you, then it wouldn't be bad. There's no answer when you buzz Lem's unit, but the door's open. You push the door and find Mina sitting in the middle of the floor playing with Bun Bun. Hi, Mina. Hi, Robot. Mina says sullenly, waving Bun Bun's paw without looking up. Where's Daddy? Mina doesn't respond, but walks Bun Bun across the floor, narrating quietly to herself. I'm so worried. You look around the unit, it's a mess. Dishes and glasses on the side, some of Mina's clothes piled up in a corner. Mina is sitting by her bag, which is spilled out across the floor. Her drawing slate cracked and dark. I'm gonna tidy up. You start with the kitchen units, piling up the dishes in the auto wash and wiping them down. You pile the clothes up next, folding them neatly. Mina watches you quietly as she plays, curious but silent. You've just started to look at fixing her cracked slate when Lem enters. Sleeper, what are you? He pauses and looks from you to Mina and back again. Never mind. He drops a bag by the door and slumps on the couch. Everything okay? Lem lets out a weak laugh. You forgot the past few cycles now too. Wish I was so lucky. He looks away at the open door. Look, now's not a good time. I want to help. Help? Unless you have a side rail ticket or two on you, I don't think there's much you can do here. Pinches the bridge of his nose. You understand they never even put us on the list, right? I've been all around the rim looking for work, and I've run into more than a few from the cruise. Turns out, only longtime Havenage members were issued those sealless ID numbers. They never planned to consider us. Havenage says they didn't know that was what they were going to use to make the draw, and who knows, maybe Sealess pulled the wool over their eyes, but what does it matter? All those hours in the yard for a hand-to-mouth wage and nothing else. He slams a hand down on the sofa. That can't be it. Well, it is. He looks at the open door again. They are moving the side reel up the hub now, you know, he says without meeting your eye. That's where it'll depart from. They are bringing in a ship with all their cryo-sleep pioneers and transferring them up in there in microgravity before loading the crew. You could steal a ticket? Lem laughs. There's no tickets. I was joking before. Just those ID numbers coded to someone's identity. No stealing that. He looks over at Mina. Look, we'll be fine. We always have been. I just need a little time. He sighs. We have our hearts set on that trip is all. Mina comes over and climbs into his lap. He smiles. Not giving up. Good for you. You get yourself on that ship. I won't stop you. No, I'm not giving up for you, Lem. Lem strokes Mina's hair. Look, you want to go up to the hub and ask around, be my guest. I can't get up there with Mina down here, and I'm sure the sidewall will bring in a crowd, but be careful. This kind of thing always attracts scammers and thieves. Find a way on board, you take it. You need help to get there, ask me. But for now, me and Mimi are sticking out to the eye. She looks at him and smiles. Find a way for us all. Lem smiles, but doesn't say anything. You stand to leave, and Mina grabs your hand, eager to give you one more smile. Then you are out, back in the walkways of the low end, already thinking of plans to make this right. Well, we're gonna take a look. So I'm not doing any of that. I'm just looking at where I can interact with. So I don't think this is on a timetable at all. It's not. Good. I'm just trying to figure out where I could even ask around about that, and I don't see anything today, at least. Now the question is, I think I just deal with 4 dice tomorrow. I was thinking about taking stabilizer, but it's so early. I think we'll just deal with 4 dice tomorrow, even though we are really on some tight time frames here. Oh, now I gotta harvest the algae. We'll use our 5 here. We'll use our 4. Okay. And then I'm gonna re-roll. And that's pretty bad. So I'm gonna leave that. We're gonna use our 1 are we? No, I don't know if we will. I'm gonna look around a bit more and see what our options are. We just got really bad dice rolls today, which makes this hard. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it happens. Where else could we ask around? Because we can't even access this part of the station anymore. Like, I don't even see the side reel on here anymore. It could just be that the side reel's gone and we're done. Okay, so there's nothing we really need to do here. Let's head down. I don't think there's much I can do with that 1, unfortunately. Oh, and we are running out of time there, too. Just do the best we can. I think we should be able to intercept comms here. Oh, nice. And then we'll just use this to get some energy. Not really getting any work done tonight. Used up all my energy staying up until 3 doing it last night. Then you should probably try to get some rest. Ugh, okay, some of these dice are okay. A lot of them are not great. Okay, we can finish that tomorrow. Beautiful. How much time have I got left? I've got 4 days. Let's re-roll. That's so good. Let's use our 6 here. We'll use our 3 here. Okay, we're making good progress. I'm gonna cross over real quick. Just to see if anything has opened up to interact with, and I don't see anything. You should go to bed. Oh, that's a bad roll. Oh. A rapid burst of movement catches your attention. A drone, its fins adjusting as it hovers in place, floats in the corridor. Hello? The drone shifts a little, but does not respond. The drone buzzes closer, and a voice gurgles out of its speaker. Distorted and strange. Sleeper, come to the cordon. We need to speak. Who is this? The drone clicks and whirs, and the recording starts playing again. Sleeper, come to the cordon. We need to speak. You move closer and the drone bobs away to a safe distance, but as it does, you see the HA of Havenage emblazoned on its side. Could this be Fang's drone? Satisfied it has delivered its message, the drone rotates and accelerates away as rapidly as it arrived. You stare as it disappears from sight, hoping for some insight that escapes you. To the cordon, then. Not yet, I need breakfast. Making sure there's still nothing here to do. Nope. Yeah, I think this side rail thing's just done. Let's work on the water. And then we can re-roll everything. Good. I mean, the 1's not great, but we'll take it. We can put the 4 in there, because even if we get a neutral outcome, that'll still fill it up. You're leaning against the metal crates you just loaded up with algae, packed and dried into bright green pucks. Ash hops onto the one beside you, flexing her aching back. Is this enough? She squints at you as if you just interrupted her train of thought. It's a look you have become familiar with. Doesn't matter either way. This is what we've got. She sighs, rubbing the back of her neck. In these past cycles working the algae stack with Esh, you've had little insight into her mind. She rarely seems happy to start a conversation, but is always eager to end one. Despite this, you feel like something has grown between you, something like a silent trust. The kind that tends to seed itself in the fertile soil of hard but necessary work. Concerned? Esh laughs. You could say that. She turns to face you. I think it'd be stupid to not be concerned about all this. She's right, of course. Though it's hard to focus your concerns on one thing in particular. Can the refugees survive on the flotilla? What are Havenage doing to help them? If the quarantine is lifted, is the Eye really in danger? Each worry is far too large to even begin to process, to judge, and they mesh with each other, more personal worries until the anxiety growing in your chest. Feel it. You look at Ash and are suddenly eager to speak, to talk about something, anything, rather than just sitting and feeling this growing weight. Why escape XPR? Ash pauses, her protective instinct fighting with the trust you've built. You can see her begin to shrug off the question. Then she stops, rethinks, sighs. What you need to understand, Sleeper, is that Erlin's Eye wasn't the only place where the Solheim collapse happened. Sure, Hawthorne, where I grew up, was an XPR installation, but that didn't screen it from Solheim going under. Actually, Solheim was the only reason XPR were even here. She pauses, hesitant to get the whole story out, but wanting to offer something. She flinches, correcting herself. They are a service corps. You understand? They set up outposts and surrogate systems like this to offer refueling, logistics, and maintenance services to bigger companies with extraction contracts. She gestures to the Eye around her, like Solheim. When Solheim went bust, XPR lost their client, and Hawthorne, well, we lost everything. We became an outpost tasked with just holding on, keep the refueling platforms running, they said, keep the outpost stable, hold on to our claim. She rubs at her head, as if recalling all of this was somehow physically painful. You know what it's like to spend your entire life in a place with no future? A place that exists only to hold a legal claim to a piece of territory, to shore up breach of contract negotiations between two corporations? It's like living in a... She searches for the word, her eyes jumping back and forth. In a grave. She clenches her hands. So if you're looking for the answer to why questions, that's your answer. We, Peek and I, know what it's like to be forgotten, to be locked out. She stares hard at the side of the stack, the algae whirling against the glass in beautiful patterns. She doesn't look away. The silence extends and you realize this conversation is over. Ash seems angry, not at you, but with herself for even voicing such ideas. After a while, you stand and start to load the crates into the powered cargo trolley that Ash will run back to the Briar. As you do, you try to catch her eye, but she avoids it, soothing herself instead with the comforting simplicity of physical work. So she's pretty closed off, but you know what? That's okay. She's allowed to be. We're going to siphon some more water. We'll be able to finish that tomorrow. We're going to wait until after the ad break to do that. But we've almost finished this. I'm just worried about Peek's plan. We need to try to finish that soon, too. I think we're gonna take a little break while we deal with the ad. Boom. So I'll see you all in just a minute. And we are back. Let's play some more. See if we can get this done. As you enter the passage that leads through the cordon, a flash of movement catches your eye. A drone. It stops to make sure you've seen it, then flits into a side passage leading to a set of narrow stairs. You climb through a dark shaft, the drone stopping at each landing to check that you are following. Despite its lack of expression, there's something overbearing about the way the drone waits, impatiently realigning its fins in sequence. After a long climb, you come out onto an observation platform. The cordon and the vast ramshackle refugee ships beyond fill your vision. The scale seems impossible, and immediately you feel small and naive for even thinking you could affect this situation. Something shifts nearby. The drone again. A woman has stood at the window at the edge of your vision. You aren't surprised you didn't notice her. She's too... This is typo. There's a typo here. She seems too impossibly small in the shadow of the flotilla. The drone buzzes by her shoulder and she turns. Sleeper. Sorry for all the cloak and dagger nonsense. She nods at the drone. But I've never regretted being cautious. She smiles a tight smile and holds out a hand. I'm Helene. The tight smile holds, but the drone keeps its single eye fixed on you. The effect is a little unnerving. Look. She glances around the empty observation deck as if checking for potential eavesdroppers. Let's be straight with each other. I know about your plans and... She cuts in before you can respond. I understand your motives. You look at her overalls, the yellow markers, the HA sigil. You've been on the eye long enough to recognize a Havenage member when you see them. Your Havenage. Yes, I mean, I expect that is obvious. The tight smile again. I hope you won't hold that against me. She glances around nervously again and moves a little closer. This entire situation, I'm not here to defend it. She glances back at the flotilla. No one is happy about this. She pauses. Sleeper, tell me something. What does Havenage mean to you? Pardon Hurst. She squints at you. That was unfortunate. But you should know it was one of our own who exposed Hardin, and that has been dealt with. For the record, we exposed Hardin. With the help of our friend, who is a hacker. That's one of the main plots of the game. But no, we exposed We exposed Hardin. Anyway. Havenage is used to being criticized. In some ways we invite it. Our members are free to bring up grievances at any meeting to propose new structures and approaches. She shifts her weight impatiently. I don't care. As a counselor, it is my duty to listen to them. That is why I was elected by the members. We are an imperfect system, yes, and each counselor, each member, each representative can be flawed and worse. She looks down. But we keep this place running. That is what we do in the flotilla. She turns and looks out at the clump of fractured ships. The flotilla is a problem. Can the Eye take in thousands of refugees safely? I don't know. This place is a ruin, Sleeper. What do you think the council discussed? The price of Garol? We make plans to keep this place spinning. To keep life support working, to ensure... Helene's slate chirps and a grim look passes across her face as she sees the notification. She looks tired, the screen light casting her rigid expression in a pale glow. Sleeper, I didn't bring you here to explain how Havenage works. I came here to talk about your plan to cross the cordon, breach the quarantine, and supply the flotilla. She looks directly at you. I know you think you're helping the flotilla, but you cannot do this. Right now, halfway across the ring, one of a countless series of debates are being held. These debates are to evaluate the potential harm that could be caused if the refugees of the flotilla are left to enter the station. These debates are at a standstill. Helene walks to the window. Too many in the Havenage Council think of the flotilla as a threat. After recent events, a hardline group has emerged, protective, selfish. They seek only to benefit the members. In their mind, the flotilla is a danger to life on the Eye. If you are caught crossing the cordon and breaching the quarantine, it will only strengthen the hardline councilor's case. Criminals who stole a ship from XPR are undermining the security of the station. She shakes her head. It's exactly what they want. The refugees need supplies. They do. And that's exactly what I want to give them. But unless the quarantine is lifted through a fair process, they will never get them. She sighs deeply. And those XXPR spaces you're running with? Sleeper, do you know anything about them? Why do you think the refugee flotilla came here now? Something is happening in the system. Something is pushing people out of the colonies and outposts that have survived since Solheim collapsed. We need to be ready for whatever's coming, ready to protect the Eye. I know the Eye means something to you. I know there's a reason you're still here. I literally can't find a way off it. Help me protect it. Helene fixes you with a strong look. Persuade those spaces that this is the wrong move, that they will get caught, and the flotilla will be locked down, that Havenage will be delivered into those with the worst instincts. Look at this suicidal supply run with people you barely know. Help me fight for the Eye. Why don't you stop them? If I expose the plan, it's the same as if it goes ahead and they're caught. Every way I look at it, the Eye looks compromised, the quarantine justified. The hardliners get their scapegoat. Don't offer up the excuse the hardliners need to lock the flotilla out altogether, to persuade the members that they are the safest pair of hands. She looks at you imploringly. Please. You look back at her and the flotilla behind and sense the desperation in her plea. A notification breaks the silence. Shit. She rapidly scrolls through the pages of data. Sleeper, I need to go. She looks torn. Think about this, please. Talk to the spaces, help them see reason. And she quickly leaves the observation deck before you have time to respond. You stay for a moment, watching the lights of the tugs on the flotilla, and wonder what it feels like to be on one of those ships, so close to your destination and so far from it. And then you think of the Havenage Council chamber across the Eye, where the right of these people to find safety is being debated. You shiver, and then you too are gone, back into the stairwell into the cold dark below. Well. Let's intercept some comms. Sleeper. Peak is waiting for you when you leave, but they look different, pale, drawn out. You need to come up to Briar now. They don't meet your eye. What's happened? Not here. He kisses. Come to the ship. We'll be waiting. Peak walks away. Won't take long. And with that, they disappear around the corner, leaving you anxious and confused. Sleeper, long time. Moritz is smiling at you when you leave, clearly happy to see you. Moritz, good to see you. Same. He rubs his hands on his jacket. How you been? Working hard. I bet. He grins.
Well, you are always welcome to hang at the bay if you want. He glances around. Actually, it's like what I'm here about. I know Bliss said she didn't want to take any more big jobs, but she changed her mind or something? He grins. Because now we have someone looking for a refit of the ship in our bay. You would not believe it. They want their entire ship disarmed. Cutting out defense arrays, weapon lockers, ship-to-ship countermeasures, like the whole lot. He leans in. This was not your original voice, Moritz, but I don't remember what it was. We'll be able to start an arms dealership with all the hardware we'll have up there when we're done. He laughs. Anyway, it's a massive job and we need some hands. Bliss said to go get you. So come on up. Bliss is waiting for you to accept the job. He pauses. It'll be good to have you up there again. He grins. Like old times.
I'm in the middle of some stuff right now. That's fine. Tucked into a service corridor deep below the reservoir, Ash is double-checking the seals on the water tanks loaded onto the motorized trolley. Though you are far enough away from any thoroughfares not to worry about being overheard, you both still speak in hushed tones. Ash hits the ignition on the trolley to start it moving. You take the other side of the trolley and walk it up the wide service corridor with its flickering lights and Solheim detritus. You doubt that it gets used by Havenage, at least that's the hope. You glance across at Ash, her face a mask of determination as she guides the trolley along. Maybe some conversation will make this journey a little easier. I don't think she wants conversation. Ash's face makes you hesitate. You don't want to disturb her further. As you both walk the trolley through the corridor like bodyguards attentive to the smooth running of its wheels, the balance of its heavy load, Ash seems glad of the silence, but you can't help feeling a little frustrated. Why won't she talk to you? You both reach a wide... Not everyone likes to talk, Sleeper! You both reach a wide bulkhead doorway and have to stop to shimmy the trolley over the edge. When you're done, Ash turns to you. I'm good here. Head back. With that, she's gone, moving off into the dark tunnel ahead. You watch her go and then turn around and walk the distance back to the staircase you entered from, the tunnel humming around you as you do. As you walk, you try to piece together Ash's past, but all you have are glimpses of a person she once was. She seems to prefer it that way. Ooh. What do I want to put those 3 points in? I'm leaning towards engineer. Well, we've gotten all the stuff. We just need to do Peak's plan now, I guess. And we got 2 days for it. Let's go. As you walk into the Climbing Briar's cavernous bay, now filled with crates and containers, Ash is waiting for you. In front of her, sliced open with its inside scattered across the top of a heavy-duty crate, is an object you recognize. Helene's drone. You freeze. Come in quick. Peak nudges you into the bay, looking behind you before sealing up the entryway. We have to start being careful. You move closer to the container, your eyes on the drone splayed out in pieces, some parts of it hooked up to a slate that Peak picks up and begins tapping away at. Ash looks up from the dissection. We caught it buzzing around nearby, heading for the ship. She leans over and taps the HA sigil on one of the removed pieces of plating. It's a Havenage spy. I think we got it before it sent data back, but we can't be sure. Peak looks at you nervously. Ash cuts in. Have you noticed anyone watching you? Any drones like this? Anyone following you up to the Briar? I've seen this drone. Ash frowns. following you. I met its owner. Ash pauses for a while, Peak looking between the two of you. Explain, Sleeper, Ash says quietly. I don't see any reason to lie, so I'm gonna tell them about Helene. You explain that you met with Helene at the cordon, and you tell Ash and Peak about what she told you, that the Havenage Council are debating lifting the quarantine, but they're blocked by the hardliners. You speak faster and faster, but before you can finish, Ash walks away in anger, then comes back again, her eyes burning. She's gonna blame me! I'm just answering your questions, Ash. Jeez. What is this, Sleeper? Have you understood nothing from what we've told you? She paces in front of you. Havenage are not your friends. They are administrators, I'm aware, which means they are interested only in their own power, their own survival, their own causes. They divide people as easily as sorting livestock. The greater good of their work demands it. The wider project of the station, the colony, the nation. Her eyes are wide as she speaks, her anger barely contained. I mean, technically I didn't have a choice because the game forced me to meet with her. Pete cuts in. Listen to them, please, Ash. They are with us. Pete glances between you and two. What was the Sleeper supposed to do? They were ambushed by this Helene. I do believe she's trying to help. I don't think she's necessarily able to help, but I do believe she's trying to help. Let me tell you something, Sleeper. Ash says, her rage hardening into pain. When people become administrators, they give up something, get some part of being human, being an equal among others. It goes away. They start talking about the greater good, the systems, the ways in which their hands are tied or their processes compromised. My mother was an administrator of Hawthorne, and I've seen what it did to her. That noble higher calling, it is toxic. People should never have the chance to decide the fate of others, and those that do so at a cost to their humanity. Peak tries to cut in, but Ash holds up a hand. Don't start, Peak. Don't ask me to be reasonable or calm down. Thousands of people are desperate out there. Being reasonable will only prolong their suffering. So, I feel like this is a tough situation. Because there's an interesting both sides to this argument. Because on the one hand, they need to know whether or not this space station, the Eye, can actually support all these people. But on the other hand, why can't they just send them supplies? Like, if we're able to produce extra food and water and parts, why can't we send that to them? I don't get it. So, I don't know. I don't like either of these options. I don't like either of these options. Because I do think Ash is being unreasonable here by saying, like, you just let them on. Like, well, what if you put them on here and then there isn't enough life support for everyone and everyone on the station dies instead of just them? No, but the thing is, Ori, is that they won't even let me pay for it. I'm just saying, like, there's a nuance here that the game isn't letting me navigate to. Like, both sides are way more extreme than how I feel. Like, Ash is being like, just let the people onto the station. Everyone has the right to survive, and you're not wrong, but somebody has to be looking at the bigger picture and making sure that tipping the balance isn't gonna cause a catastrophic thing. Right? Like, if you just let them all in the station, what if we aren't able to produce enough oxygen for everyone? Or something, you know? So it's just, I don't know. So I'm gonna lean this way. Helene can help, and then they're gonna get mad at me, and that's fine. Ash turns away. I'm done with this. You're risking this entire supply run just by being here. She walks back to the bay and starts checking the straps on the crates. I go next cycle. We don't need you anymore. Get out. Sleeper. Peak looks torn. You have to understand, this is personal for Ash. I know. Peak looks away, then at Ash. I don't know, Sleeper. I just don't know what to do. You glance around the bay of the Briar, the walls seeming closer every second. This whole thing is closing in on you. The question is, where do you want to be when it all collapses? You look at Peak. And what do you think, Sleeper? Peak rubs their forehead. Should we do this thing or not? I don't know. Peak nods. Me neither. You look at Ash. What do you see her? She knows, and she saved my life, so I'm going to say we do it. You squeeze your shoulder. Onward. They slip away to help Ash, leaving you alone to replay the conversation in your head. A certain kind of grim determination is settling in the room. Last chance to prepare. How do we help Peak's plan? I guess with this? Oh, come on! That was rough. Oh, we got it too. Oof. While I'm here, let's buy some stabilizer. We're gonna have to use stabilizer to try to get any of this done. We need as many dice as possible. And we have 3 more things to do. Ah, this is rough. I have the feeling we're gonna fail. Okay, we have to do this. I think. When you enter the bay, it's weirdly quiet. Moritz must be out on some errand, and maybe Bliss is prepping the kit? Oh, it's Ankita. That's surprising. What was Ankita's voice? I don't even remember. I'm gonna make her French. Sleeper? Ankita is drifting at one side of the bay. You missed her completely when you came in. The idea of not seeing Ankita when you entered a room would have seemed unlikely to you several cycles ago. But seeing her without her armor, she seems smaller, less imposing. Ankita. She nods and kicks off from the wall, drifting closer. So what is this? She asks. Come to avenge Ashton or his sleeper? Or just looking for another payout? Anger is familiar, but quieter than before. Restrained. Don't start. Start what? You are the one following me up here. She looks away, and you can tell her anger isn't directed at you in particular. It radiates off her like fire. You better be ready to sign, comes a shout from the bay entrance, because I've got my best repair tech coming up here especially, and they are going to... Bliss glides in and suddenly stops herself when she sees you and Ankita standing off. Oh, Sleeper, you're like totally already here. Miss Cassetta, this is the tech I was telling you about. Best on the... She stops, looking between the two of you. Wait, do the two of you know each other? You and Ankita look at each other. We work together. Bliss squints at you both before continuing. I'm not going to explain what happened. You're going to have to play the game if you want Ankita's story. Bliss produces a slate. Now, Miss Cassetta, if you'd like to sign our damage waiver here, we can start on the decommissioning. She looks at you. My tech here is eager to get started, as am I. Ankita scrawls her signature across the slate. Thank you. Bliss pauses. Oh, that was Bliss. Thank you. Bliss pauses. And everything is okay with the special payment terms we discussed? She gives Ankita a strange smile. Oh, fine, says Ankita, giving you another hard look. Then she kicks off and drifts to the entrance. I'll be in the gimbal, she says, and leaves. Special payment terms? She looks over her glasses at you. Look, Sleeper, there's something I have to tell you. She glances around again. What is she so nervous about? This isn't exactly a typical job. Miss Cassetta, I mean Ankita, she gives you a knowing look, doesn't have the chits to pay us, so we've made a special agreement. She sighs. I'm leaving. Leaving. Keep it down. I haven't told Moritz yet. Haven't told Moritz left? I haven't told Moritz yet. She looks down. Just waiting to break it to him. Don't you tell him either. She stares hard at you. I'll tell him when I'm ready, and I don't want him getting worried about Ankita's history. He can be very protective. You should tell him. Look, all I care is that she's heading for the Starward Belt. She looks out of the bay. That's where I'm headed. She turns back to face you. Also, I wanted to ask, she stops, unsure, if you'd like to come with us. I can't. She interrupts before you answer. I know things have been hard for you on the eye, and you helped me so much, and I asked Ankita if she'd carry the two of us, and she said yes. Morris will take over the bay anyway, although if you stay, you're welcome to help him run it. Just a thought. She sighs. You might be in need of a fresh start as much as I am. She turns away nervously. Think about it anyway. The berth is there. We've got to finish the job first anyway. And with that, she kicks back away and heads to the racks before you can offer an answer. Moments later, Moritz enters with a new cutting torch and Moments later, Moritz enters with a new cutting torch for the disarming of the ambergris. The Starward Belt. You push your thoughts to the back of your mind. Time to get to work. So that's just a bunch of engineering actions, and it's not on a clock. Oh, here's the side rail dock. Oh. how you continue that. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna look to see if there's anything else going on here. There isn't. Okay. We're running out of time, but I am gonna try to get this plan together in 2 days. I'm worried it's gonna take a lot of luck. We need stabilizer. Decent roll. Okay. We're gonna buy breakfast and we're gonna see what we need to do. Okay, so what actions are we doing? We're doing an interface, which we're already capped out on. We're doing an intuit. And the other one is engineer. Let's upgrade engineer. Which means let's start with intuit since we have 6s. Oh, this is gonna take too long. I can't even get one of these done today. Okay. Yeah. Oh, this plan is not gonna come together. It takes too long. And they're leaving tomorrow, and the plan is not coming together at all. I've messed this up. She's gone, Sleeper. Peek is breathless and shaking. She started the run without us. Shit. Let's go. If we can head through the corridor now. Peek slides back up the corridor. They turn back. She has to make a Sleeper. She has to. Shiver runs down your spine. Ash, I hope you know what you're doing. You arrive frantic and anxious at the cordon. Peek is nowhere to be seen. Then you hear footsteps hammering on the metal stairway. Helene's drone led you through before. One that leads up to the observation deck. You leap up the stairs 2 at a time and make it to the top, momentarily blinded by the light pouring into the observation deck. Sleeper! Peek emerges from the light. I know she is trying to protect me, but... There she is! Peek rushes to the wide window, leaning forward to catch a glimpse of the Climbing Briar's blue XPR livery against the black of the void. Yeah, I would agree with that, Ori. You spot the Climbing Briar, a glint of blue and white, tiny and alone, arcing down towards the red light of the cordon. She's exposed, Peek says nervously. They will see her coming if they look. You watch the cordon and the buzzing tugs for any sign of movement, any response. The briar crawls silently across your view. Come on, Ash, Peek hisses, and you see it, a sudden flicker of yellow. Peek sees it too. Those two tugs are heading to cut her off. They grip the rail. Go, Ash! As if responding to Peek's urging, the briar speeds up, diving for the cordon edge now. Like a hawk descending, you tense up. Peek grips the rail as the briar races towards the edge of the cordon, that invisible net of sensors splayed between ships and drones. And she passed through. The response is immediate. The moment the briar hits the net of sensors, the entire cordon reacts. Sequences of blinking lights cascade out from the ship's position, the angry red of the cordon multiplied many times over. Shit! Peek presses a hand against the window. As they do, the briar accelerates, weaving dangerously through the flotilla. You move closer to the window without thinking, unable to take your eyes off the rapidly descending ship, spinning between the hulls of the flotilla, a group of tugs now tracing its path in pursuit. Briar drifts through the flotilla, but it's agonizingly slow. Come on, Ash, Peek shouts in desperation, pressing a palm against the glass. You squint at the gathering yellow glints of tugs. They are too fast. You both watch in dismay as the tugs swarm the briar, their shunts locking onto the hull of the ship and holding it in place. The briar's stuck. Its drives unable to escape the tug's grip, especially in the close quarters of the flotilla. Peek is silent, and you watch as the briar is dragged away towards the facility at the edge of the rim, a hole opening up in the pit of your stomach. You look at Peek. They don't respond. They don't take their eyes off the briar. Even after it disappears, they stand at the glass, their eyes fixed on the flotilla. She didn't even get the supplies through. Peek doesn't look at you. This was all for nothing. Sorry. This was stupid, sleeper. Peek looks back at you, their eyes wet. A stupid plan. We had the ship and our freedom. Now what do we have? Peek slams a hand on the glass in frustration, making you jump. I won't be trapped again. I won't! They turn and rush out of the observation deck before you can say anything, leaving you alone with the cold and the light. Drive failed. Another one. Huh. Well, it's 9:20. So we're gonna stop here. I need to wait for it to autosave though. How do I make you autosave, please? It was 20 seconds ago. That's probably about when we finished the thing. So that's fine. Oh, it just saved. Cool. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and quit. And we'll pick this up again the next time we have time when we finish a game early, I think. So that means it's time to say goodnight. Give me just a minute and we will roll some credits. All right. As always, thank you all so much for being here, hanging out and watching. Special thanks to all of our mods for doing those mod things, including banning a bot. Thank you. And special thanks to all of our supporters over on Ko-fi. Dano, thank you for the 18 months. Bunny Fiend with the 33. Carousing Bear, aka Zev with the 16. And Dirk with the 58. So many months. Citizen Sleeper's quite chill with your narration. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So we're going to be off tomorrow, and I'm kind of glad because tomorrow is a big limited beta launch event for Superfuse, so I'm going to be busy for a lot of tomorrow. But if you are interested in ARPGs, you should definitely follow Superfuse. I work for them. No, but we are launching a limited beta tomorrow, so I'm going to be very busy dealing with questions with that and making sure people get their keys and stuff. And if you do like ARPGs, you can try and get into the beta if you want to. But we will be back on Thursday with more Stardew. Working on getting all the things, doing all the stuff. And then Friday, we're going to be starting Aviary Attorney if my voice holds up. Because we did a lot of reading today, so the plan is to play Aviary Attorney on Friday if I feel like my voice needs to rest, because it's like an Ace Attorney style game in that it's a lot of voice acting and reading. I may push it back a week, so we'll see. And if I do push it back a week, I don't know what I will play instead, but this week could also be very busy with the beta launch, so my schedule is a little bit up in the air anyway. Hope things turn out well on that. I hope so too. I'm very excited. Then I'll be off Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, but we should be back on Tuesday with something new because I'm very much in between games right now, so I have to figure out what we'll be playing next. We might do a poll on Discord for upcoming games, or I might just pick something or like go through and see if like there's any new releases that I can get my hands on. So we'll see. If you are new here, be sure to hit that follow button. You can also hit the bell next to the heart and get notifications on Twitch whenever I go live. If you like notifications, join the Discord or follow me on Twitter. I do the tweeting, I do the posting whenever I go live. We sometimes do watch parties or do polls in Discord and stuff. If you're looking for places off of Twitch to support my content, I have a Coffee is my chip jar. It's my tip jar. I have a Patreon for all of my art stuff. I have a store for art prints and merch. I'm a humble partner. I'm a Clip Studio partner. There's lots of ways to support me. Okay. Let's see. Where am I sending you? Who's live? Oh, dang. Vanna is playing Hades. We're going to send you all over to Vanna. Y'all know Vanna, but if you don't know Vanna, Vanna is one of the team leads and the founder of Team Emporium. Is a wonderful, funny, queer content creator, big TTRPG nerd like a lot of us here. It is a mature audience's stream, so keep that in mind as we are raiding over with Vanna. But yeah, Hades is a good time, so go hang out. As always, thank you all so much for hanging out and watching. Have a great night, and I will see you all in a couple of days.